Hello, hello. All right, I'm live, right? Lynn, good morning to you, night to me. Carol. Oh, cool and breezy, Southern California. All right, well, I'm in unbelievably, unseasonably warm at 50 degrees, Edinburgh, Scotland. Sue B, hello, how are you? Sue B from Yukon, right? If that's who this is, can you tell me what the temperature is there? I will have to say today, my hands, I don't know if they've ever been so cold in their life. And I'll tell you guys in a second where I was. But let me also say, hi, Carolyn, how are you? Oh, hi, honey. There's my husband. I'll be getting back to you later. It's crazy, when you're like 8 hours ahead, it's hard because it's nighttime for me. It's 7 p.m. So I'm going to go out to eat after I teach. And I'm go, go, go all day long. So hi, Tatiana. I'm so glad that you're here from Atlanta. So for you, Tatiana, I'm only 5 hours ahead of you in Atlanta. Yes. Yeah. Okay, Sue, in the Yukon. Is it freezing? Today, I went to this unbelievably beautiful castle. I'm sure it's on my website somewhere. If you see me in a pose where in the very, very background, looking like it's on an island, are castle ruins. It's called Dunaur. I think that's how you say it. Dunaur. No, Dunaur. I don't know the Scottish way to pronounce it. I think we would say Dunaur, but I don't think that's right. I think it's Dunaur Castle. Anyway, unbelievable. And the last time I was there is 29 years ago. My dad and sisters and I stumbled upon it, and I've been wanting to get back ever since. And I did bring my kids here in 2015 with my parents. And when we got there and went up to the front gate, it was closed. So this is actually the first time in 29 years I walked the property. And it's on the North Sea of Scotland. So it's absolutely windy and super cold. And thank goodness it wasn't raining. Super windy and cold. And I, of course, was videotaping and taking photos the whole time. So my hands were freezing. Like, seriously, I don't think my hands have ever been so freezing in their life. So really, really amazing. Just reading about the history, and they've done so much in the 29 years since I've been there to put signage and words on like some little descriptions and stories. And so just really amazing to think about humans and the way that they lived, the treacherous conditions, and just amazing. So I love it here. I love the history here. Okay, good. Yeah. So we were trying to make sure that Tatiana got the link to today's class. Well, the thing is that I have a regular newsletter list that I'm sending out to. And then for my classes, I want to have a more specific class list because 3 days a week I teach on YouTube. And as you can see, I'm doing this even when I'm not at home. And that's my intention, is to show up for these classes. Right now it's 5 classes a week. It's been 5 classes a week for 2 years. And you know what's crazy? Oh my gosh. Today's March 10th, right? It has been exactly 2 years ago that I taught my last class at the hospital before the pandemic. I came back from visiting my daughter in the UK, and I taught the first session, March 10th, Tuesday, 2020, was a class. I taught that class, and there was definitely talk of the pandemic, and but it hadn't yet really gotten to that point. And I taught that class on a Tuesday, and that day, the hospital I teach for sent out an email saying that they were going to take a week off. And I thought, what? A week? What are we going to do for a whole week? Like, I can't have people not practice physical asana practice and breath work and meditation for a week because I really believe in this for staying strong and fit. I mean, it's use it or lose it. And if you're not the person that's going to be doing it yourself, which most of us aren't, including myself, we need to have that structure of a class or that commitment that we're making to something. So anyway, they said for a week, and then of course the rest is history. I think March 17th is when things really closed down. Still really hopeful for a month or two because I was bringing a group here with me to Scotland. That didn't happen. And anyway, 2 years of online virtual teaching. So I plan to always show up, especially my osteoporosis. This is my osteoporosis class. So one for the hospital on a Zoom and one will be virtual at a minimum, if not more, because we need to keep our bones, our muscles, our joints strong and healthy, and safe is really important to me. And this is how I live my life, how I'm keeping myself strong and healthy as I age. And I want to share what I learn, what I know, what I've experienced with you. So, all right. Um, oh, great. A lot of us are, Sue. Well, my mom and dad are actually from Scotland. Like my mother and father sound like they just got off the boat. They have such strong accents, like they're Scottish. And for that matter, I feel like the blood in my body is, even though I was raised in America, born and raised. And Tatiana, you made a comment earlier in the email. I was actually born in Hollywood. I was born in Hollywood, California, which is crazy to think. But that's where I was born. All right. So without further ado, let's do this. I'm going to turn my camera down a little. So I am in a hotel. I asked for an accessible room, so it's a little bigger. Yeah. My mom came to this country to be a nanny. Came to America to be a nanny, and she worked for a family, and they lived near Hollywood Presbyterian. So that's where she had me. So anyway, all right. Well, if there's anything that anybody wanted to share with me, I don't have my props with me. I travel with a carry-on. I'm on a 19-day adventure with a carry-on in Spain, which was 70 degrees, and Scotland, which gets down to 30 in the night. So imagine a small carry-on and everything you need for almost 3 weeks. So you can imagine. So anyway, I wasn't going to bring my block with me or my strap, but also I really want to share that yoga is something you do everywhere, because yoga is whenever you can connect to yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, and then the physical asana practice, whatever your body can do. So sometimes when you don't have props, you might need to limit what you're doing, or you might need to reach for a rock or a I take a lot of photos of myself when I go on vacation, because I want people to see that you can do this everywhere and anywhere. So visiting ancient sites, I don't have a block with me or strap, so I'll just put my hand on a ledge or something and do something and hold my posture for breaths or whatever it is I'm doing at that moment. Okay, so here we are, and more than ever, being in Scotland gives me this total awareness of foundation and how important foundation is. And so our foundation, whether that's our physical body, our bones, our muscles, and our bones being the integrity, right? The structure that holds us up, how important that is. And it is the layer of our bones where the storage of our minerals are, which is what is used by the body for everything, for all the processes. All cellular processes use minerals, and the minerals are stored in our bones. And our bones also have a protective aspect where they actually will hold poisonous heavy metals. So the bones are, and then when we lose bone density, sometimes those metals get released into our body and cause lots of problems with other body systems. So really thinking about our bones, when you get the diagnosis of osteoporosis and you think that all of a sudden they are fragile or weak, and that gives us the opportunity then to think every day that we're going to create this stone castle body, like a stone castle that weathers the storm from generation to generation. And that's what we're here doing. So whatever posture we're in, hold it as long as you can. Go to the place where you feel like, oh my gosh, how much longer? Or really connect to your breath. And when you connect to your breath in the moment, then you're not with anything else that we spend our time and our days thinking about or worrying about. In the moment when you connect to your breath, that's the moment where we can make those shifts happen in our body, where we can create new memories in our joints, in our muscles, in our bones. And when we can balance our mental, emotional energy, with breath, with present moment thinking, then we will contribute to keeping the minerals in our bones, which is going to contribute to stronger, better quality bones. Okay, so all of that is going to happen right now. So whatever you can do is great, because you're getting benefit no matter what aspect of all of that you do. All right, so I am going to use a towel. That's what I've been using. Whether I use it as a strap, I could use it as a block, or I may even forego the block when I have this towel. And you may want to have a block. You may want to have a strap. I'll instruct and say, here, you could use the strap, or here, you could use the block. But for me, I'm going to use this towel, and that's all I need. All right. So we're going to go down onto the ground to begin, because the ground is a really great place to correct posture. And so love to come down onto the ground. With osteoporosis, keeping your spine nice and long, especially the front of your spine. Keep the front of your spine nice and open as you bring yourself all the way down onto the floor. And then when you get down onto the floor, I want you to really arrange yourself here. So really feel I want you to feel your bones. I want you to feel what parts of you touch the floor. So having the feet on the floor, don't do too much yet to correct anything. And close your eyes. And here I'd like you to feel your feet on the ground and begin to notice, where is the weight on your feet? So go to your left foot, and you have the heel, the whole pinky toe edge, and then the 5 toes and the top part of your foot. Do you feel all of that? And then bring your awareness over to the right foot. And again, do you feel the whole heel, the pinky toe edge, the 5 toes, and the top part of your foot? And then left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Do you feel them both equally? And then bring your awareness up to the next part of you that is on the ground, which is the pelvic area. And I want you to bring your awareness to your buttocks, to the center of your pelvis, and feel, where is the weight in your pelvis? Do you feel it equally right side, left side? Do you feel it more down towards the tailbone, higher up towards the top part of the pelvis? Be very curious with your body here and the holding patterns of your bones. Bring your awareness now up to your rib cage, back where the shoulders are, behind the heart, the back of the ribs. And what do you feel there? Do you feel the one side more than the other? Do you feel them equally? Do you feel the tip of your shoulder blade, for some of you that may have some scoliosis in your body or some shoulder issues? And then for those that do have shoulder issues or scoliosis, pay attention to that. So if you do feel heaviness on one shoulder blade area, is that the side that you have your shoulder issues? Or if you do have a diagnosis of scoliosis. Many women develop scoliosis later in life, called functional scoliosis or musculoskeletal. Sometimes idiopathic, meaning there's no origin. And then your arms, your elbows are on the ground, the upper arm bones. How much of your upper arm bones is touching the ground? Just notice. And then bring your awareness to your head, the back of your head. Do you feel more left or right? And then let's go through this arrangement of your skeleton using the floor to help with posture, with alignment. Bring your arms closer to your body and lift your rib cage up off the floor and slide the shoulder blades towards the center of your body, closer to the spine. And they're flat bones, So let them find their home where they should be, in the center of your body. And then let your rib cage rest on the ground so that you are getting that nice alignment piece. Then push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up, and tilt your pelvis backwards. So you're lengthening your low back. And you're going to try to press the low back onto the ground. And then you're going to try to press the top of the edge of the pelvis onto the ground. And then allow the sacrum to touch the ground and maybe even towards the tailbone. And you just placed yourself there. So hopefully in a little bit of a nice aligned position. Pick up your head, tuck your chin towards your chest, lengthen your head, and then place your head back down on the ground. For the lower body, it's up to you. You could keep the knees bent, letting the knees touch. Feet are slightly wider than your body when you do this. Or you could come into a fully outstretched position with your legs all the way long and your arms down alongside your body. So choose what feels appropriate for your body. And as you close your eyes, you'll feel your way into that. And because I have whatever issues I have in my body, I can feel all of this. For me, straightening my legs doesn't feel so great for the low back, but that's because I have a pretty curvy low back. For those of you with a flatter lower back, it may feel better to have the legs straight. So find what's appropriate for you. And then hands are down alongside the body. If you'd like a little bit more postural correction, you could take your arms out to the side and even bend your elbows with the eyes closed. So you feel your way into using the floor and gravity to get some nice alignment in your joints. I'd like to do a breath called Savitri Pranayama, which is a rectangular shaped breath. It is a inhale, a hold, an exhale, a hold. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And I'll do some counting for you. I'm going to count first with 4 on the inhale, 2 for the hold, 4 on the exhale, and 2 for the hold. 4, 2, 4, 2. And then I'll add on 6, 3, 6, 3. 6 inhale, 3 hold, 6 exhale, 3 hold. And this is a really wonderful breath technique for you to learn. Because when we give our mind something to do like counting and we focus our breath in this even pace, it actually helps to regulate the sinus rhythm of the heart. And it's a great way to calm your mind when you're in a place where you really need a calm mind. So find the position of the hands and the legs that's appropriate for you. And then really let your bag of bones, your skeleton, let it be really heavy here. So take some time to relax and release as much of you as you can. Have your mouth closed. Let your back teeth be separated. Feel the support of the floor wherever you are. Notice the activity of your mind, the activity of your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale. Empty your lungs. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Adding on. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Inhale, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3. Continue on your own, breathing at your pace, choosing whatever numbers work best for you. 4, 2, 4, 2, or 6, 3, 6, 3. Stay with your breath, stay with counting. You can even visualize the shape of a rectangle as you count out and draw that shape in your mind. If you get distracted or lose your count, start over or continue. When you regulate your breath, you regulate your nervous system. You regulate your cardiovascular system. Wherever you are, finish this round and then do 3 more rounds. When you finish your last round, go ahead and let your breath go back to its own rhythm. And observe your breath. See if your breath stays close to the rhythm you just set for it. Bring your awareness to your hands and feet as you bring movement into your hands and feet. And then bring yourself into a full body stretch if that feels good for your body. And if a full body stretch doesn't feel good, try something else where you feel a stretch. When we're on the ground, we're getting a postural correction. So do something where you really reach and stretch yourself and you feel that in your body. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Let's draw the knees one at a time slowly into the chest, side to side, rocking across the top of your pelvis. Then let's let the legs go up in the air, the hands go up in the air, and let everything settle. Let your shoulders settle here. Even pull your arms down towards the ground. So the shoulder joint actually has about 3 inches or so of movement. The arms are, if you keep your arms straight here, so do not bend your elbows, you could reach up towards the sky and then draw the shoulder down towards the ground. You reach up and away, and then you reach down. And see if you could reach far enough away that you actually feel a stretch. So the shoulder blades are locked into the ground because you're lying down on them or laying down on them. I know chickens lay eggs, we lie down, right? So lying on them, and you draw the shoulder blades closer to the ground, you draw the upper arm bone in the socket, and then bring yourself back to center. Go ahead and bend your knees, hold on to your knees. Let's warm up the hip joint. So we're gonna do a little circular pattern here with your legs. So bring the knees together, hold on top of your knees. So you're not holding around the side like this. You're coming from the top, holding onto your knees. Then you're gonna push your knees away from you. You're gonna separate your knees as wide as you want to. You'll feel a stretch on the inner thighs. And then draw the knees in the spread position towards your shoulders. You'll feel a stretch there. And then draw the knees towards each other. Exhale, push the knees away. Draw the knees out, bring them together. Let's match the breath with the movement here. So when you draw the knees towards you, that'll be the exhale. So you're going to compress the abdomen, press the low back into the ground, drawing the knees together. The inhale, you're going to push them away and spread them apart. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Now slow down your movement. Use the breath with the movement. You exhale, drawing the knees towards you and towards each other. You push them away from you and spread them apart on the inhale. Exhale and inhale. And notice which movement you're going in here, and then come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knees straight towards you, press them apart. Inhale, let the knees go away and towards each other. Go slow because this is work. This is core work. This is inner thigh stretching. This is hip joint work. This is tilting the pelvis, so there's lower spine movement here, lubricating the lower lumbar spine, lubricating the hip joint. 2 main areas that we focus on when we practice yoga for osteoporosis, because these are the 2 areas that the DEXA scan reads. It reads lower lumbar spine, it reads the hip joint. You could draw your knees in on the exhale, spread them apart, push them away, draw them towards each other, and then bring the knees into your chest. Hold on. So if you do this with breath and you do this slowly, you'll actually feel the muscular aspect of that. I definitely felt that in my inner thighs. And that's a big area for hip joint health, for knee health, for the position of your pelvis, which then will have an effect on the position of your spine. All right, let's take our feet to the side, away from us. We're going to do a little windshield wiper action here. So the arms go to the side. Your feet are on the ground. Let's do a little bit of side to side with the soles of the feet staying on the ground. And see if you could feel that front hip area, that waist area starting to stretch. The higher up you can put your arms, really depends on your body, what's going on in your body, especially in the shoulder area. Going side to side with the feet on the ground. And then eventually allowing the soles of the feet to lift off the ground as the knees go to the side. Really feel that beautiful stretch coming in. This is going to now warm up your, higher up your spine, prepares your body for some of the twisting and the back bending that we do, which are two of the main spinal movements we do when we practice yoga for osteoporosis. We do lateral flexion, rotation, and extension, really staying away from flexion, which is forward folding. The next time you come to one side, stay there, let your head look in the other direction, and really lengthening that side that you're opposite of the knees. So whatever side you're on, you're going to stretch the opposite side. Take deep breaths down to your waist. And then bringing yourself back up to center. We're going to go to the other side. Let your knees go to the side. Let your head go opposite. And then reach that hand up and really stretch this side. Maybe you feel the underarm area. Maybe you feel it mostly in the hip, wherever you feel it, as long as it feels appropriate. Deep breaths to your belly. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself to neutral. So let's do a little to stretch ourselves here. Let's do our first posture. So take your strap. I'm going to use the blanket and roll it up as a strap. Let's do the right leg. So draw the right leg in and bring your strap onto your foot. And then hold the strap. Have a little bit of a bend in the right knee. And let's do a little here to bend and straighten the right knee. Bending and straightening, getting some lubrication into that hamstring muscle. And then come to a hold. Stay here. You could straighten the left leg if you like, or keep the left leg bent. And then pick up your head, lengthen the back of your neck. You're going to draw your foot down so that you feel the right buttock pressing into the floor. You may even feel the hip experiencing this when you do this. So whatever you're doing, really pull the strap down so that you feel this solid aspect. And now I want you to firm up the right leg and push the right leg away from you. So maybe you're already feeling something in the back of your leg. Make sure your right leg is pushing away and your right waist is nice and long. Take an exhale. And then inhale, draw your leg back towards the wall behind you. Try not to move the pelvis. Let it only be the leg that goes back. Long right waist, firming up that right upper thigh, pushing that upper thigh away and pulling it towards the wall behind you. Really pull on your pelvis here. Deep breaths. Try to be in a neutral pelvis. Try not to let the lower back press into the ground. Feel the weight of your pelvis in your sacrum, which is the center of the pelvis, and the base of the spine. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and unbend the leg. Let's take the strap off. Draw the knee in of the left leg and put the strap on the left foot. Your choice. If you want to straighten the right leg, you can. You could straighten your right leg if that feels good for you, or keep it bent. And then let's warm this up. You're bending and straightening the knee. And then come to a static hold. Stay here. Draw the leg down first. So feel that pressure in the ground. Feel that pressure in the hip joint. And then firm up the leg. Make sure that your knee is straight here. Firm up the leg. And then no lower back on the ground. And neutral pelvis. And nice long left waist here. Firm up the left leg. Push the left leg away from you. And then guide the left leg towards the back wall. Deep stretch at the back of the hamstring, pulling on its attachment to your pelvis. So that's how we create bone building stimulation. We pull on the tendinous part of the muscles where it attaches to the bones. So you're pulling on your bones here. Pull on your pelvis, firm up the left leg, push it away, and guide the left leg back towards the wall behind you. One more breath. And then go ahead and bend the knee. Take your strap off. Put your strap off to the side. Draw your knees into your chest. And then bend your knees. Hold on to the back of your legs. Keep your low back on the ground. Keep your tushy on the ground. And draw your legs towards your body. And let's take the legs up in the air. So this could be a lot for some of you that have low back issues. So you could actually roll to the side, make a fist, take your hand, put your hand underneath your buttocks, roll to the other side, and put your hand under your buttocks. So you could do that to be a little bit supportive here. Or bring the legs a little closer to your chest. And then you're going to inhale to point, exhale, flex. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. Try to feel a really strong sensation in the front of the foot and a strong sensation in the calf. We need to have limber ankles, receptive ankles. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. And then circles. Go slow here. And then in the other direction. And then go ahead, bend your knees, put your knees on the ground. So you're going to need your block for this. We're going to do the bridge posture. So take your block. For me, it's going to be a blanket. And the thing about the block here is when you press in, you activate the center chain. So this activates posture and alignment in the center of your body. So it can actually be really nice, and it can help to align or set the lower lumbar spine. So let's walk the feet as close as you could get them to your body. As close as you could get them to your body. Your block is between your legs. And then lift your upper body off the floor, slide your shoulder blades, or rock side to side, and tuck the outer edges of your arms underneath. You could bend your arms here if you'd like, or keep your arms straight. You're going to begin by pressing the low back to the ground, so tilting your pelvis backwards, squeezing your block. Press your feet into the floor, exhale. Pick up your head, lengthen the back of your neck, and as you inhale, you're going to peel your spine off the ground one vertebra at a time. Lift, 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 pushing away from the ground with the arms and with the feet. Lifting, lifting, lifting. When you get up here, nice deep breaths, close your eyes. Squeeze your block, squeeze your tushy. Push your feet into the ground. Push your arms into the ground. Take one more breath. Then you're going to go nice and slow to come down one vertebra at a time. When you get all the way down, you're going to take your block out, put it out away to the side, and then draw your knees into your chest. Rolling onto your side. Take a break here. Take your hand, bring your hand onto the ground, and then you're going to push, lead with your shoulder, bring yourself up off the ground. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but whoever's above me is pretty noisy. And I don't know how old this building is, but it's probably old. It's in the heart of Edinburgh, right down the street from the castle. I'd say that the Edinburgh Castle is half a mile away. So I don't know if you can hear all that noise. All right. So we are going to go into one of my favorites, which is plank, which is a very strong posture. Now, wherever you are at in your ability, you choose what's appropriate for you. This is the traditional plank. The modification would be the lower knees on the ground and the shins. And then if you need to go down to the forearm because you're protecting your wrists, go ahead and do that. Wrists are something we need to pay attention to. It's the number one area for women over a certain age. I believe it's 65. It's the number one fractured site in the body. So let's really weight bear here on our wrists with the intention of creating strength in the wrists. So go ahead and come into any variation of plank that you would like to bring into your body. Let your feet be about body distance. Really feel that all toes are making connection with the earth. And then push your body back. There's a play here in the body, right? There's where we put the weight. So press the heels back so that you're equally weighted, or you're trying to bring more weight into the lower part of the body. Nice and long from the crown of the head, out the heels. Deep breaths. Press your fingertips into the ground. That'll help with the wrists. Really distribute the weight in your arms. Feel how strong you are. Feel this power. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. We're going to come into a lengthening of the spine, which is called puppy dog. And with osteoporosis, we want to make sure we do not round our spine. So we're not rounding our spine in this. We're bending our hip joint, pushing the tushy back. Keep your head lifted at first when you come down. Your arms are straight. And then let your forehead rest on the ground. Long spine. Breathe down to your belly. Spread your fingers. Feel the stretch in the upper body. Feel the pelvis moving away from the rib cage. Take one more breath. Lifting your head first, and then bring yourself up. So one thing that's good to notice is that wherever your head goes, your spine follows, because the spine is attached to the skull, and the average skull is about 10 pounds. So wherever your head goes, this part of your spine will follow, which is attached to this part of your spine, which is what really contributes to that rounding that comes into the spine, which then contributes to the spinal fractures. So I had you come up leading with your head because I want you to pay attention that you're not rounding your spine. And that's something that's really good to do throughout the day, is to notice where is your head. And so many of our activities are forward, we're looking down. So really, where is my head? And then I would say, where is your gaze? Because if we're looking down, then the head is tilted forward. And as we get more sensitive with balance, and as we age, we lose some of our ability of muscle and nerves to communicate for balance. So the inclination is to look down all the time. So really starting to get familiar with your feet, familiar with your surroundings, so that you don't have to look down as often, or you're just very cognizant of how often throughout the day you're doing this. And then you try to counter that. So let's come up into a posture to counter that is nice to find in your day. So this would be, you clasp your hands. You either take your hands, bringing your hands together, or if you need to have your hands apart, or if you need to hold on to your elbows, whatever you need to do this. And the other thing is that you may actually need something underneath your knees. I don't like my knees to be on the ground. I really prefer to have a padding of some sort underneath my knees. We're going to do what's called camel posture, trying to really bring in this nice extension in the upper back, really getting the shoulder blades to help lift the spine here. So clasp your hands. I'd like you to you could leave your feet on the ground, or you could flip your toes under. And that's to help establish the base. So slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Do whatever you're going to do with your hands. And then reach your hands down, lift your heart up, really open the front of your chest where your ribs are. So really open that part of your spine. And then the head, you want to make sure that you could still talk. So do la, 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 and notice where your la la's start to change. And that's where your head stops. So here, there's such a restriction of the la, 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 la. Here, la, 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 la. So come to what's appropriate for you. Let's come into camel. Really stretch open the front of your chest here. Tailbone points down towards the ground. Hands are reaching down strongly towards the ground. Deep breaths. Really reach down, stretch your chest, open the front of your heart area. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Take the tension out of your body wherever that is. And then I want to do a little practice getting up. This is something I've been working on for myself. It's getting up off the ground, and it's a really great way to strengthen the glutes, posterior chain, and the hips. So you're here in your blanket. If you don't have a blanket, put a blanket underneath your knees. And then bring what you believe to be your strongest leg forward. So bring your strongest leg forward. Take your hands on your leg. Take your foot, flip your foot under. Then bring yourself back for a second, and then forward and push to come up. And the slower you do this, the harder it is. So if you do it slow, your joints have to really capture your weight without momentum. And then I want you to switch. Bring what you believe to be your weaker side, if you know you have one. Bring your foot forward and really press the foot into the ground. You could flip the toes back under the back. Take your hands here. You're going to inhale here and then exhale to lift to come up. Come back down. And then one more. And then bring yourself all the way up. So let me change my computer. Okay. I think I need to do this. All right. Well, let me see. Yeah, okay, you can see. All right. Okay. So let's come to standing here. Let's warm up our feet. So I want you to be a little bit wider than your body and see if you can roll a little bit in your feet, lifting the arches off the ground. See how this feels for you. This is what I do when I'm standing waiting in line, and I've been walking a lot lately, so really using my feet a lot, coming in here and really feeling that pretty strong stretch on my ankle. And then just today, actually, I was walking on uneven cobblestones, and I did feel my foot dip a little bit, and I felt my body receiving that, and I thought, wow, this is all that I'm doing for my feet to keep them nice and mobile. And then bending the toes, flipping the foot under. When we do the standing postures for osteoporosis, we use our feet. And so getting them nice and warm will keep them healthy. All right. So I'd like to do a warrior series here. So we're going to come into a pretty wide leg position. And maybe at first you come into this a little bit like this, where you kind of bend your knees and you lift your hip up, you'll definitely feel a stretch on the inner thigh area, or you should, or hopefully you do. As you move your hips, this is kind of like the walking movement of the pelvis. The waist gets shorter on one side, shorter on the other. So feel the lift up of the pelvis, lift up of the pelvis. And then bring yourself to neutral. So have a pretty wide stance here. And let's go to this side first. So pick up the toes, the heel moves away from you. Pick up the back heel, move the back heel away from you. And then I'd like you to take the front leg, and just to bring a little bit of a bend into that knee, I want you to push away from the back foot from the pinky toe edge. You push away from that pinky toe edge, you load into that front knee. Push away from the pinky toe edge, load into the front knee. So make sure that you're not trying to come into this with the upper body, reaching here with the upper body, but rather you're really letting the lower body be what does this, because this is mostly where our focus is on the hip joint here. And there's some stuff that's happening also for the upper body here. So take your shoulders forward, up, back, and down a couple of times. Forward, up, back, and down. And then let the fingertips reach down. Take an exhale. Then inhale, push away from that back foot. Load into your front foot as low as you can or would like to today. And then look over the middle finger. Lower your shoulders, press your arms back. Really have strong arms here, so reach long with your arms. This is going to strengthen the posture in the upper body, strengthen the hip joint, and there's some spinal stimulation as well. Lift your heart, lower your shoulders, press your arms back, lower into your lower body joints if you can, into your knee, into your hip. Active feet, so grab the floor with the feet. Smile. Take one more breath. And then you're going to unbend. Let's come back to center. You're going to bring your feet forward first. Pick up the toes. Keep the legs straight so you can actually make this movement happen in the hip joint, which is where our focus is. Pick the back heel up, move the back heel away. And then we're going to do a little bit here to push away from that pinky toe edge. Start loading into the hip joint, into the knee. Push the feet into the floor. The front leg, you want to push that foot into the ground so you really activate the posterior chain. You get the glutes and the hips ready here. And then come back. Roll your shoulders. Reach your hands nice and long down towards the ground. Exhale. And then inhale, load into this warrior two on this side. When you get here, look over that middle finger. Lower your shoulders, lift your heart, press your hands back. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Strong upper body. Stay with your breath. The breath is power. The breath helps you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself up and out. Bring your legs together. Bring your feet together. And then stretch your feet. Okay, let's take a break for the feet. Let's do mountain Tadasana, posture of alignment, stacking the joints. Toes are together. The feet are not together, but the feet are pointing the same direction. They're closer together than you think they are. And then try to get the side of the body lined up with the edges of your mat if you're on a mat. Take your hands nice and down alongside your body. And then find this alignment in your body. Push your feet into the ground. Point your tailbone down towards the ground. Chin is parallel towards the ground. Push your head back. Slightly tuck the chin down and push the head back. Hands are reaching down and push them back. Lift your heart. And then lift your clavicle bones up towards the sky. Deep breaths to your belly. Close your eyes if you feel that you can. This is mountain pose. Both feet are on the ground. If it feels appropriate here, try it. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. And open your eyes if they're closed. Bring yourself back to center. Let's take our hands onto our waist. Go straight into the tree. It's perfect because we put ourselves in a nice aligned position to go into tree. Push yourself over to one side. Come onto your tippy toes. Knee out to the side. So really try to get the knee to go out to the side, adding that external hip joint rotation. And then bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Push the foot into the leg into the foot. And push that foot that's on the ground really into the ground nice and deep. Stack your joints. Find something to stare at, to gaze at that doesn't move. Deep breaths all the way down to the sole of your foot. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself out. Come all the way out. Feel your foot. Notice if you can tell all the tension that went down into your foot to hold you. And just look down at your foot for a second. That foot, look how the size of your foot in relation to your entire body. And imagine what it takes for that foot in with that size to support all the rest of you. And there are 26 joints in the feet, I believe. There's 27 in the hands, 26 in the feet. Most of those, of course, aren't as mobile as the fingers are, but half of all the bones in the body are in the feet and the hands. So all of that communication that comes up from your foot to hold you up, it's just pretty amazing when you think about it. So be patient with yourself wherever you are in terms of balance. Be really nice and patient with yourself, I would say. Okay, let's take our hands onto our waist, because this gives you a little bit of alignment. And if you push the elbows back, it could be a little supportive to bring the shoulder blades onto the spine. Looking straight ahead, push your body weight onto the other side, tippy toes, knee out to the side. Bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Stare straight ahead. And really try to lift out of that hip. Even if it means that as you try to lift out of the hip, you fall out of the posture. Trying to really correct yourself here, align yourself. Deep breaths all the way down to your foot. Lift your heart, smile. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Notice what's happening with your foot. Go ahead and shake, shake, shake. Let me see where we're at for time. Okay, perfect. All right. So I like to move into side angle. Some of you may want a block for this, to put a block on the ground if you have a block, or you can rest your arm on your knee. So I'll be resting my arm on my knee today. You're going to take your feet really wide and then pick up your foot, turn your foot away, turn the back heel away, setting yourself up with that external, internal rotation in the hips. And then begin to put the bend in the front knee. The back leg is straight. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Hands reach down. Take an exhale. And then push away as you inhale. Load into that front knee and hip, coming into the warrior two. When you get here, reach nice and long, bending at the hip joint. Bring yourself onto the top of your leg. Or for those of you that have a block, you can put a block on the ground and put your hand on the block. Reach your hand long, or reach your hand long and away from you. Bending as deep as you would like to in your hip. Nice, tall spine. So don't collapse yourself here. Really lift yourself up nice and tall here. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself back up to your warrior two, and then all the way out. You could take a break in between, bringing your legs back, and then let's come back into this. Take your legs as wide as you need them to be or would like them to be. Front toes are up, toes face away from you, heel moves back. And then beginning with a slight bend in that front leg, shoulders are forward, up, back, and they're down. Push away from that back leg as you inhale to load into your warrior two. Once you get into your warrior two, you bend that front elbow and reach, bending at that hip joint. And then bring your hand onto your thigh. Bring your hand up in the air into your side angle. Hand can reach up and over, really lengthening on the side here. Deep breaths. Feel where you feel this stretch. A lot of inner thigh, a lot of hip joint stimulation. There's even lower spine stimulation here, lumbar spine, because there's some rotational forces that come into the spine here. Lengthen that side where your arm is up in the air. Really creating a lot of bone building stimulation by pushing in the joints. Weight bearing, pulling, pushing. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up to warrior two, and then all the way out. Go ahead and shake, shake, shake. So I'd like to do chair posture. And with chair posture, it's a bend here at the hip joint. So it really strengthens the part of you that you should be bending at. You don't bend at your spine, you bend at your hip. So that's the part that we're going to be doing here with the chair posture. So if you'd like, you could grab your block to give you a little extra turning on that midline. This can be helpful for some of you. I've got the towel, you may have a block. I'll do it from the side. Let's take your hands down, toes are pointing forward. You're going to think about your hip being where the bend is, pushing the tushy back when you bend. Let's take an exhale. And then inhale into your chair, bending at your hip. Bring your hands up as high as you can. Contract your core, really hug your lower lumbar spine with your core. Push your knees back. So the knees are not over the toes, they're over the top part of the foot. Reach long, gazes up. Take one more breath. And then bring your hands together, push your hands together, and go ahead and unload out of those joints. All right, pretty sure. Yes, okay. All right. So let's come down onto the ground for the last and final posture, bending at the hips. When you come down, if you put one foot forward, one foot back, it's a nice way to load down into your joints, bringing yourself down. So for final rest Shavasana, which is a posture, actually Dr. Fishman uses this in all of his series that he's putting together, because to find that internal place of homeostasis, of calm, of connection to breath, of present moment awareness is so beneficial for our bones, for everything inside of our body, but really with our intention here being for bone health. So let these moments right now be you connecting to your breath. If you like, it could be a simple inhale, exhale, or you could try the Savitri Pranayama, the rectangular breath, where you breathe in for 3, breathe in for 6, hold for 3, breathe out for 6, hold for 3. Or if you need to do 4, 2, 4, 2, whatever it is. And whatever position works best for you, I'm going to do my legs up the wall because I have one here. If you want to do the legs up the wall, it doesn't matter how close you get to the wall. Don't be so concerned with that. But being close enough. So come into whatever is your best variation that would feel the best for your body. If you need to bring your knees into your chest, you can. Or if you want to shake your joints, let them settle here. Connecting to the breath, no music. You're going to use your breath here to connect, to allow the integration of all that you just did for your body. Set yourself up for bone building stimulation right now by staying in the present moment and connecting to your breath. Stay with your breath. Finish this breath you're on and take 3 more rounds of whatever breath you're doing. Finishing at your last breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And rolling your ankles and your wrists. Draw your knees into your chest. Roll on to your side. And then bring yourself up to seated. Bring your hands together. The hands touch your heart. Press your heart to your hands to your heart. Lengthen your spine. Slightly tuck the chin down towards your chest and press it back. We'll close with sound. Let's do the sound Om, which is the sound coming from the back of the throat to the lips. And when the mouth is open at the back of the throat, the sound of an exhale is Ah. And when it comes into the mouth, it makes the O or U sound. And when the lips close, it makes the sound, which is where the sound Om comes from open mouth to closed mouth. So whatever your sound is, let's create space by making a big exhale. Inhale. We bow to each other in gratitude, in recognition of the divinity that's in you is the same divinity that's in me. We are more alike than we are different. Namaste. So the breath that I taught today, the Savitri Pranayama, the rectangular breath, we so often need to give our mind something to do because our mind is so active. And when you can put your internal body, your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, all your systems into a place where they feel safe, then they go about healing, repairing, and restoring. So learn as many tools as you can to stay connected to your breath, to stay connected to this moment, this present moment, and do yourself a favor, do your bones a favor, do your body a favor, do your health a favor by allowing you to be the healthiest you that you can be by connecting to your breath. So thank you. By the way, I did not teach class the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago today, I was flying here and put up a recorded class. And then last week was my week off because I take a week off every 8 weeks because I need that. So for my recorded class on Saturday on YouTube, not sure if I'm going to do it. That's 5:30 for me. I'll be in London with my son for his first time, and I might be exploring the city. And so I'm not sure if I can, I will. And if not, there will be a recording up for you all. Hi, Patty. Yeah, isn't it crazy? It makes me think like, ooh, I can go on vacation more often. You're welcome, Carolyn. So yeah, thank you. You're welcome, Lynn. Yeah, so you girls were half a mile from Edinburgh Castle energetically today. And that's a pretty cool thing, right? And you were all over the place in Canada, in Atlanta, in Los Angeles, in Scotland. All right. You're welcome. Yes, thank you. Carol, hello. Oh, good. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, I don't have any props. My foot was slipping a little bit on the carpet, which made me think that sticky socks is probably something to travel with, even though I don't use them that often at home and I've got plenty of pairs of them. Probably sticky socks when you're on a carpet would be good. And then if you're at home, of course, a sticky mat. And in India, they don't use anything. So I try to be as authentic as possible. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Lynn. You and me, I'm doing it for all of our bones. And remember what I said at the end of class. We are more alike than we are different. And I don't know if that's too woo-woo for you guys, but really the humanness that's in me is the humanness in you. So we're doing this for our humanness, for the energy of life. Well, that's the way I look at it. Anyway, all right. So not to get too woo-woo from Scotland. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I wouldn't do this if you weren't here. So anyway, I am off to have whiskey with my son, who's not done that before. We're going to do a whiskey flight. And, I don't drink very often, but on special occasions. I haven't had anything in Europe yet. I will, though, tonight. And then there's a Scottish folk band that's going to be playing. So we're going to listen to live Scottish folk music and have a little bit of whiskey. I won't go crazy because I fly to London tomorrow. So anyway, off to have my whiskey and listen to my Scottish music. And you all enjoy your day, whatever you have left of it. And I'll see you. I'll be back home in Los Angeles for next week's class. Thank you.